Hi, this is Brandon Spillane from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the dumbbell fly. This is a great chest, upper body exercise to put in hypertrophy on your chest. It's more of a bodybuilding based exercise. You can certainly use it in some sports performance realms and personal training realms if you wanted to. I think there's bigger bang for your buck exercises, but if you happen to be a powerlifter, bodybuilder, strongman, this might be a way you help bring up your pecs for your pressing power or your upper body strength. So it is an isolation-based movement, so also keep that in mind. You're going to want some kind of flat utility bench or flat surface to do. A bench is preferable, just the sheer fact that if you can get your hands lower to increase range of motion, that's obviously going to increase stress on the pecs, which is going to help them grow. And we do want to make sure we try to train them in a full range of motion whenever possible. So you are going to need a pair of dumbbells. And what you're going to do is we're going to lay back on the bench. We're going to start with our palms facing each other here. And then your feet can be wherever you prefer, tucked or straight. Just make sure that you're relatively stable. We don't want to have them really up like this. That kind of defeats the purpose. We want to be stable. This is more of an upper body based exercise. And then we don't really want to make sure our shoulders are like cranked like crazy like when we're actually going to bench press, but also to make sure you're not protracting out as far as you can. Just keep them somewhere nice in the middle where your palms face each other. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a slight bend in our elbows, okay? So we're not going to have them bent like this. We just want to make sure they're not completely locked out the whole time. Slight bend, and then what we're going to do is we're going to drop them down towards the floor. We're going to keep our chest tall. Go to get a good stretch, and then we're going to come back together. Here, back up. So again, a little bit of bend, that way the elbows stay good and happy. And then we're going to come all the way back up. Try to keep some tension on your pecs, so you don't want to bring them together like this, lose tension. I prefer to stop a little bit so I can try to keep the tension on my pecs the whole time, and then come back up. Keep your head down on the chest, or on the bench if at all possible. If you're really struggling with range of motion, you can lift it up, but if you can keep it down, you're probably going to get a little bit safer of a stretch through each rep. So, again, that's the dumbbell fly, super simple. The big thing is to not overbend your elbows, but also not completely extend them. And then just make sure that you're almost pretend like you're trying to hug a tree or a person or whatever. So I found that if you really try to focus on squeezing and hugging somebody, you're gonna feel better contraction in your pecs when you go to do that. Now, considering this is more of an accessory-based exercise and isolation, this is not something that you do for like sets of 5 or 6. You definitely want to keep your rep ranges in the higher end, towards the end of probably your training session, depending upon what you're doing, probably an upper body one. But you're probably looking between 10 and 20 reps on average in terms of what you're going to program for 3 to 4 sets. Again, we're trying to get blood flow, build some tendon health, isolate the chest, finish it off after everything else we've done, bench press or floor press or whatever, incline bench press, whatever it is that you're doing. You know, this is definitely one of those like tertiary based exercises that, you know, we want to get some good work in, but we don't want to risk tearing a pec because it is isolating that. And if you do get in too far of a stretch motion, there is obviously a risk of injury if you go lower than what you're able to do. So just keep that in mind. But that is the dumbbell fly, super easy to do and perform. Just make sure you're keeping an eye out for your shoulder health, keeping your reps down on the higher side, or your weight down and your reps more on the higher side, and you'll be okay. If you got any questions, feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.